Good afternoon, everybody. It is December the 5th, 2021, 3:53 in the afternoon, and I want to tell, with the help of my beautiful wife, that's my sidekick, that's sitting beside me, Michelle, of some things that has happened over the course of a 7-day period. Well, on the last day of November, God shows me in two different Bibles that I have on the same page number, and I can't remember how I got to that page number. That's just has lost from my memory at this moment. I may think of it here in a minute, but anyway, on the same page number, which was 149, I read, and I don't even remember where it is at this particular moment, where the passages are located. It's not the important part of what I'm trying to get to, but it was about Moses and having skilled craftsmen and getting donations to build the tabernacle. And in this passage, it talks about there were so much as far as donations go to build the tabernacle. I don't remember if it was talking about money or materials. I think it was materials in this particular case, that there was so much materials. Moses had to tell everybody, stop giving because it's too much. We can't use it. Okay? It's way too much. And then the other passage on the same page number but a different Bible, it talks about donations again. So there's two passages in two different Bibles on the same page number, which is page 149. And I believe that second one was talking about building a temple. So that was on the 30th, okay? So my sweet wife and I, we decide that we need to take a trip. We felt like God was telling us to take this trip this weekend to the mountains. And on our way up, and we've gone places before. We've gone hiking and various things over the last couple of years, especially in the last year that COVID was going on. We would go hiking and various things so that we could get out of the house and be able to do things without being around people. Not that I'm concerned about that, but just being able to do things, okay, not confined, like a lot of people have felt. Anyway,
inexpensive.
What's that?
Inexpensive.
And yes, very inexpensive. We know how to make some mashed potatoes and put some chicken in those mashed potatoes and have a hot meal on a cool evening.
Mm-hmm.
You know, or cool day, or even a hot day, doesn't really matter. But anyway, that costs what, $3?
Yeah.
You know, with a little bit of water, which was really, really cool. Anyway, another subject for another day. So on our way up here, we have something that rarely happens, that we see
In abundance.
I can't remember if it's either five. I think it was 5 times that we saw the number 777 in various different places. And we're talking, it's about a 5 hour, 5 hour trip, something like that, from where we currently reside. So that's very, very rare, and every time that we saw it, we were talking about something significant in our lives, and I don't want to get into all of that because it's on a different subject. But we would see it, and we're just like going, well, there's confirmation every time we were talking about something. But we did notice that it was an abundance of 777s, which rarely happens anywhere we go. We'll see them from time to time, but not that many.
Yeah.
That's a lot. Okay. So when we start out yesterday, we had made a plan, and this was our plan, was to go to a flea market that is right on the interstate. Okay. And then go to another flea market. We were looking for some, what was it, a diffuser or something?
Yeah.
That we may be able to, because we found one before that was like $3.
Some ornaments.
And maybe some ornaments or something like that. Anyway, we had, on the way up, we were talking about doing that, and because we were looking for Christmas ornaments, we wanted to go to the Christmas place there in Pigeon Forge. Okay.
Because if I have ever been, I don't remember.
Yeah, which is a really, really just a big Christmas store, and it's there all the time. So we had made plans to do that, and Michelle also wanted to go walk on the streets of Gatlinburg. Okay. And that was pretty much our plan for yesterday, the 4th. Okay. So we get started, and where we're located, it took about 30 minutes. 30 minutes to get to
the flea market.
The big one right there on the interstate at exit 407. Okay? On I-40. Anyway, that 30-minute trip, and I can't remember exactly how many.
Well, I'm sure I can go back and find most of them.
But we could probably find them, because we captured them, I believe, most of them. We saw 666 5 or 6 times
I think so.
at least
In 30 minutes.
in 30 minutes, which is more than
The trip on the way up for
the trip on the way up that was almost 5 hours. And we're like going, what in the world? And typically, that's a warning of something is coming.
Don't do whatever you want to do, or
whatever it is.
or be aware.
Yeah, be aware. Don't go there. Something's coming. Same thing with 919, which is Numbers 919.
And 525.
And then 525, which is Galatians 5:25. Well, it was so much, and we both had the thought: are we supposed to go to this flea market?
And you said if we see a 525 when we walk and when we get in the parking lot, we don't need to be there. And then I said, I just got it through my mind. I had the thought of if there is a 666 because of the abundance of 666s we had seen, that is a clear statement that God doesn't want us to be there.
Right.
So I specifically said a 666.
And we had said, all right, God. We basically said, God, if we see a 666, we're not even gonna get out of the car.
Yep. You show us one in the parking lot.
Show us that. If
we're not supposed to be there, let's be there.
And we won't even go. So we turn in to the flea market and turn down one of the rows. And how many cars away was it?
It was the sixth car.
It was the sixth car
that had 666
on it. And we were like, okay, we won't go.
Because you were seeing something else, and I said, there's a 666. You go, no way. And you back up.
I couldn't believe it. I mean,
it was instantaneous.
We're talking.
We pull in the thing, it's a minute. I mean, we pull in and we pull down this first row. It was less than a minute.
Yeah, I mean, from the where you turn off of the road to get to the flea market. I mean, It's less than a minute drive, and that's where we had said that if we're not supposed to go, show us that.
Yep.
So, and God did. So we left.
Instant, yeah.
We go down the road.
And it was 777 coming out. This is your, like God was saying.
In that same amount of time, we saw 777 2 times.
Yeah.
And then one other time about 20 seconds later. So there's 3 777s.
Mm-hmm. Well, after we left. Okay.
After we had left the flea market.
All right. So we're doing right. God's saying, that was
We're on
correct.
the right path, obviously.
Right. So then we were headed to the second flea market, a little piece down the road, and we saw a 525
in the parking lot.
And we get there, and it's like, okay, are we supposed to be here? And as we're driving down, we pull in, and I look over, and I'm like,
it was a 525.
He was like, okay.
So we didn't get out at that flea market. So needless to say, we didn't go to the flea market yesterday.
Nope.
God had other plans for us. We just didn't know we never know what those plans are.
So the next stop, we were headed to the Christmas store because I wanted to go look. Yep. And we hadn't all we did was fix like a brunch that morning. Yesterday morning. So by the time we got over there, it was several hours later.
Because the traffic is horrible.
Oh, it was, gosh.
It was horrible. It was stop and go all the way from Sevierville to that Christmas store. Yep. It was brutal.
So we pull in, and there's that little restaurant next door that we had wanted to try before. And he was like, do you want to go get something over here? And I said, then we can walk over to the Christmas stores. Sounds great. I said, I'm hungry.
So we end up eating at this this restaurant. Is it Puckett's?
Puckett's, I believe.
Puckett's, I believe.
Yeah, I think it's
really
Puckett's.
good, by the way.
Oh yeah, very good.
And we were watching a ball game,
Real tight.
which is the SEC championship football game, Alabama and Georgia.
Woo!
And
Sorry,
because my
Heather.
wife is a huge
Yes!
fan there, and which is really funny. I'll say this year's score and last year's score
Yeah, I saw it
is
pop up on
exactly the same score
Last game.
2 years in a row,
Yep.
where Alabama beat Georgia
41-24.
41 to
Yeah.
24.
October 17th of 2020, it was 41-24, and then
Or
this
was
year.
it? Or was it last year's?
Yeah, it was 2020. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yep, when they played them.
Okay.
That's what they showed. Anyways, go ahead.
Anyway,
So we get done eating, and we were about to leave, and about 5 minutes before we left, this guy comes up and he sits right there at the right there in front of us and was watching the game as well. And he happens to turn around, and it was just getting in halftime when we were leaving, because I wanted to wait till at least halftime and then we were going to leave. So he had gotten there and got him and his family some food and was fixing to take it back to them. And he turns around. He says, "Does Alabama get the ball the first or on the second half?" And because I didn't watch the first part of it, I didn't know. So, anyways,
the phone signal wasn't allowing you to be able to watch the game.
So my phone was in and out, in and out, in and out. So that's what I told him. I said, I'm not really sure. So we just kind of chit chat with him for a little bit, and I'll let you
go ahead.
Finish up on that one. Well, you were there. I walked outside. Remember?
Well, he just had some stuff that he was dealing with, and typically how God works with Michelle and I, he will have someone start a conversation with us almost, I mean, it's almost every single time. God starts it, and we realize that it's happened so much in the same identical way as this, that we know that it's God wanting us to share something.
Because it's not
never
ever
know
us.
what it is.
But it's not ever us that kind of opens up that can of worms, so to
right.
speak.
It's very rarely out of 50 times it may have been us 3 or 4.
I wouldn't even put it that much on there.
If that much. But nevertheless, I get to share God with him and about Jesus sitting there, of all places, the bar where they serve alcohol and all that good stuff, because that's where the TVs were.
And that's where I chose to sit, was at that little table.
So that we could watch the
So I
game.
could watch the game.
So what's really interesting is we leave there.
Well, but like before then though, I had walked outside, and because and of course my husband was like, I wish you hadn't have left, and I was like, well, there's a little thing that women are more apt in our experience to open up to both of us, but when it comes to a male, they tend to not want to show their feelings in front of a female.
True.
So I gave Melvin the space to be able to talk to him if there was something that guy wanted to share. So I stepped away. But the really cool thing was whenever they came outside together, so he could take the food to his family, and then Melvin and I was going to walk across the street to go to the Christmas place. He got in his vehicle, and Melvin had walked to our car to do something, and the guy pulls up to me and he rolls down his window, and he says, I appreciate you. I appreciate your husband talking to me. He says he really needs to keep talking to people. And I said, yeah. I said, oh, he said, I really appreciate your husband talking to me. And I said, yeah, I kind of like you too. Just kind of joke around. He said he really needs to continue talking to people. And then he looked at me. He says he really, really does. And I said, I totally agree. He said I told him, I said it was a great to meet you. He was the same year. And he left then so he can go, be with his family. So then we walk across the street and we go to the Christmas place. And that's when you're sending him or texting the gentleman that was talking to you.
He was dealing with some stuff with forgiveness, and I could tell. And this is funny.
I just so happen to have that on my arm.
Do what?
I said I just so happen to have that on my arm.
And he gave me his phone number, so he wanted me to send him a text message, and I did. But when he left, I realized that within his phone number was a 747, which is what Michelle has on her arm, tattooed on her arm, which is Luke 7:47. That talks about she has many sins and they've been forgiven. Mm-hmm. Okay. Also, in his phone number is a 540, which on the page in her Bible is something that I discovered in my Bible, and then God showed her 2 or 3 days later the same passage.
Yep.
on that page in her Bible has 13 words.
Yep.
That is, it says repaired
13 times,
as in past tense. It's already done.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. which is really, really cool to be able to see that within his phone number.
Repaired and forgiveness.
Repaired, it's already done, and the forgiveness as well. Mm-hmm. Okay. So we go to the Christmas store. I send him a text message about that, of what I discovered. We go in there and look at Christmas ornaments, and my goodness, that place is expensive. Ooh.
And packed.
And packed to the brim.
You have people everywhere.
Everywhere.
Excuse me, pardon me, excuse me.
So, we end up leaving there, and...
No, you have to tell them about the lady there.
Oh, that's right. Though we were looking for a particular kind of Christmas ornament, but couldn't find it, and couldn't find anybody that worked there until we found this one lady, and we were able to share the 108 story with her there, which is really, really cool. And before we had actually gotten to on our way to the flea market, we were able to share the 108 story with 2 other ladies.
Mm-hmm. At a little boutique that Michelle wanted to stop at. So we end up leaving the Christmas store, and Michelle was like, "You want to just go home?" I was like, "Nope, God." And I said, God is wanting us to keep going to Gatlinburg. And as soon as I said that... Stay on the path that we were already
stay on
planning.
The path. And as soon as I said that, the car pulls by the 421 on it, which is...
274.
Huh?
I thought we had saw 274 as well.
No, that was just after.
I got you.
And the 421 is Luke 421. About the scripture has already been fulfilled this very day. Okay, and I know that whenever I see that, I'm doing what God's wanting us to do. Okay? But I don't always know exactly what it is that He's wanting us to do. So we end up going to Gatlinburg.
Well, the reason why I wanted to go to Gatlinburg was because it's so lit up.
Forgot about.
Oh yeah, we did forget the whole time. But the reason why I was wanting to go up there is because of the lights and stuff, and just seeing how pretty it is up there.
Sure.
That was the whole point of going. That was the only thought that I had.
Right.
But so we leave the Christmas place and we're heading towards Gatlinburg, and so
I wanted these orange peel chocolate covered
orange peels.
That is at a little shop
that we've been to
that
before.
we've been to in Pigeon Forge. That was really, really good. But on our way, the traffic was horrible on that side of the road.
Well,
it was opposite side, and we saw 2 919s, I believe.
And he was like,
"Nope." I'm like, well, can't go there. And you said, let's go to the cookie company.
I said, well, the Great American Cookie Company is up here. Let's go up there. And there's a deer. So we go in there because the last few times we went in, they had no cookies. So we go in there, and that guy was helping us. He walked over and asked what we had wanted.
Yeah. So as he was, I had to go to the restroom, so she was checking out, and when I walked up, I noticed he had a necklace on.
Right. I was trying to figure out how
and it was the same necklace that I had seen on another guy this past week. I think it was either Monday or Tuesday. And I'm going, that is so bizarre.
Yep.
Okay? I've never seen that particular necklace before, and this guy told me what it was. It's Thor's hammer.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? So if you want to look at what Thor's hammer is, go right ahead. It looked kind of like an anchor to me, but anyway.
Well,
so
the first guy you talked to was in the dark too. It was kind of it was at nighttime whenever you saw him too, so it may not have been, plus we didn't know what it was.
Yeah, and the first guy that I witnessed to on Monday or Tuesday night, he didn't explain what it was. Anyway, this guy and girl, his fiance, we found out works there, and she came out and was kind of chit-chatting.
He was like, this is my fiance.
Yeah.
Really?
And come to find out, their first date was on August the 17th, 2019, which is the day me and Michelle got engaged, when God said through Luke 7:47 that I'm supposed to marry her. Okay? So we end up sharing the 108 story with them.
Okay? The girl is just mesmerized.
She's mesmerized
like,
at how much detail God has put into that one day in our lives. Whether it was before that day happened or after that day, the things that God has shown us, like from the day that God starts talking to me through Numbers, which is May the 2nd, 2019, to August the 17th, 2019, is 108 days. Mm-hmm. How does that happen, guys, if that's not God all over that? Just that one thing, But
that was discovered to me at 11 on November 13th, which is 11/13, which is the same 11/13 was when you took the picture of the 108s on our wedding day.
On so two cars, absolutely.
It's just,
that's how much detail God has in it. I took the two 108s on our wedding day, which was 7 hours before we get married, at 11:13. And on 11/13 this year, Michelle discovers May the 2nd to August the 13th is
August the 17th.
I'm sorry, August the 17th of 19. She discovers it's 108 days.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I mean,
very detailed.
All of that detail, down to the time I took pictures. It's just unbelievable. And that's not the only time that's happened. There's been many occurrences that, and also that 11:13 is a Bible verse, which is Deuteronomy 11:13. It says, if you do what I'm wanting you to do on this very day, which was Mary Michelle, everything will be okay with you and your family. Okay? Is basically what that, and that's paraphrased, obviously.
So we shared all this with this guy and this girl, and they were just, like I said, mesmerized by this intricate story, very detailed, that God had put together in our lives.
So we end up going to Gatlinburg after that, okay? And when we get to Gatlinburg, we park and there's a couple of people that we've met there over the course of last six or 8 months when we've gone up there occasionally, that we've kind of become friends with. Okay, and this is the really cool part of the reason that I told in the beginning of this recording of the two passages on page 149 on 11:30. Okay, so we go to this candy shop.
We walk in, and the girl that we have talked to sees us, and she's like, "There's my friends. Move out of the way. I gotta go give my friends a hug."
And and that just warms your heart, because we shared the first time we ever met her. We shared God with her, and part of our 108 story, I believe. Mm-hmm. I don't even know if we got all the way through.
I don't think so. I don't think all of it had been revealed by that time either.
and it hadn't, but she saw how God was working in our lives that day, okay, when we first met her. Well, since then, every time that she sees us, she just is wanting to give us a hug, which is really cool. We love it, and all of that.
She's a sweetheart.
Just a sweet young lady.
Yeah.
Sweet lady. Young lady. Anyway, we're just making small talk chat and
ask her how school is going, this, that, and the other. How was your Thanksgiving? That sort of thing.
Yeah, just normal stuff. Hadn't seen her in a while, so we're just
catching up.
And I asked her, do y'all have chocolate covered orange peels?
And they were right below him.
And it was right below us.
He was standing right there in front of you.
Yeah.
They're right there.
Yeah. We got some. And
you asked to try it.
I said, can I try a piece? Sure. Got a piece, and it's exactly what I was wanting. So I got that. I like them. Be quiet.
Okay, I'm so glad you do.
Anyway, she basically says, you want some? I was like, yeah, let me have some. So she fixes up a box of them, and I go to try to pay her, and she wouldn't let me pay for them.
Would not
let me pay for them.
Don't worry about it.
I was like, what? No way. No. So I immensely and very humbly was thanking her for doing that, which that is not something that she had to do. or
ever
anything.
has done or anything.
Never has done that before. It was the first time. Well, anyway, we continue in our conversation a little bit, and
she looks at me. She
just looks at Michelle and says, "What, babe?"
She's like, "You want some pralines?" Because the times that we have been in there, I've bought the pecan pralines because those are my favorite.
And they're
she's
really
like,
good at that shop.
Oh yeah, they're like the homemade ones there. That's the best ones I have found. And she's like, she said, "Well, you want some pralines?" And I said, "No, I don't need those." She's like, "Oh yeah, I'll get you some." And she gets a little box and puts some in there and puts it in our bag. And I was like, she's like, "We only had 5 left, so I went ahead and just gave you all 5.
So this young lady.
I said, "How much we owe you?" And she's like, I said, what do we owe you? And she goes, "Nothing." I was like, "No." She's like, no, it's fine.
So there's 2 things that she gave us that we wanted to pay for, but she wouldn't let us.
No, would not even take our money at all.
Would not take our money.
Nothing.
And on the way home, and basically we left that store and thanked her a lot for doing that.
No, hugged her neck before we left because, she's a sweetheart.
Yep.
But another thing with that, we ended up, her sister works there as well, and Melvin actually was able to share God with our sister as well while we were there.
Right.
So, anyways.
Shared the 108 story with her that she hadn't heard. So, anyway, we leave there and we walk around the street a little bit, and I had felt all day long that God was, because of what He had shown me on the 30th, there was going to be something, or we were going to meet somebody that that evening, and I just felt in my spirit that was going to happen. But it did.
A particular kind of person.
A particular person, okay, that I felt like God had revealed to me that this is going to happen today. But it didn't happen. And I on the way home after leaving, and there's a 108, by the way. Look at that 108, honey. On a car that we're about to pass right now. Anyway,
he stuck with me.
I was taken back that we didn't get to, or we didn't meet somebody that I felt like God was telling us that was going to happen. And I was just all the way to the place that we're staying. I'm going, God, what did we do wrong? What did we miss?
Like a despair kind of.
Yes, I was like very upset.
Did we miss something? Did we not do something that you were telling us to do? Did we not follow you the way you wanted us to go?
I mean, and I was going, we did what you said do, God. And it didn't happen. Like, we didn't see anybody that you would think that would be the type person that God was saying you're going to meet. And we got back to the place that we're staying, and this was on my mind the whole time on the way home. And Michelle can probably tell you, I was kind of quiet.
Yeah.
On the trip home, because I was really, really pressing in hard, asking God, what did we do wrong? What did we miss? And we got home,
and there was like no answers on the way home either.
No, there's nothing.
There was no answers.
God was very, very silent and letting me just just suffer, in my thoughts, and just kind of in agony about what did I miss? I missed something, and when that happened, we get home and I walk into the little kitchen, and God in my spirit, I felt him say, I did exactly what I said I was going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And I went, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness.
But in my mind, it was complete. We had talked to 7 people, and 7 is perfection.
That's true.
That was what I had thought.
But to me, we didn't fulfill what God had told me was going to happen.
Right.
Okay. Oh, I forgot this. The whole morning, we had seen 649. We had seen 649. It was almost as many times as the 666.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So I knew that it had to do with something. We were going to meet somebody that had to do with some type of money, because the first time that I ever saw 649 was when I was on the poultry farm, managing the poultry farm. Something happened, and with the mortgage company, and the mortgage company give back the amount of the check written to them plus $649.
Yeah.
and that's just unheard of, of a mortgage company giving more than a check is written for. Seriously? And I immediately knew that it was a Bible verse. I was like, that's something God is telling us something, which is Psalm 64:9. I can't remember exactly what it.
It's about the miracles and stuff that God did. It's
talking about the miracles that He performed, I believe.
Yeah.
Go look it up, guys. It's really cool of how that happened. So I had the feeling that we were going to be meeting someone because of seeing the 649s. Okay, but I didn't know who it would be. Anyway, we get back to the house, and it hits me. God did exactly what He said He was going to do. And He told me 7 days in advance of what was going to happen. So here's what happened. The 2 passages with the donations is this young lady giving at 2 different times on the same evening, giving 2 different donations, okay? Giving us some type of candy, okay? Giving me the chocolate-covered orange peels, and then giving Michelle the pralines, okay? So that hit me, and I'm like going, sweetheart, this is like $10 to $20 worth of stuff that this girl gave us, and we didn't deserve it. We didn't deserve it at all, And the other part that this young lady said to us is that she actually called us her family. You're like family to me. And we were like going, wow. When she said that, I mean, all we've ever done with this girl is Michelle stays in contact with her, but the only thing that we've ever done is show her God, show her Jesus, how to have a relationship with Jesus. And that's it.
Just be compassionate and loving toward her, and
that's
just
all,
like God has done.
So I thought about the $10 to $20 worth of candy that she gave us. I don't even know how much it was. It's not really that important. But I saw what God was doing, and this is what He was doing. He was testing us to see how we would be in someone giving us something so, to them, it was insignificant. Okay? It appeared to be a very insignificant gesture.
Right.
Okay? But to us, it turned into God using that, what somebody may call insignificant. God turned it into, I want to see if you're going to stay humble. And I just busted out into tears because I saw what God did, and it just floored me. And Michelle walks into the little kitchen and is going, "What's wrong?"
I just hugged you.
And she just hugged me. She didn't, I don't even know, did you even say anything?
I asked what you're wrong, and you said something about we didn't deserve the candy. And I knew exactly what you were talking about.
Yeah. And it was just very, very humbling to see that this young lady knew who we were and
called us family.
Like part of her family. You know, and you could tell she was sincere when she said it.
Oh, absolutely.
And it was just amazing. And guys, this is a really, really cool part about all of it. God told me that it was going to happen. Okay? But 7 days before it happens. Okay? And He does this kind of stuff quite often, to where he'll not just in advance, but Michelle or I will pray about something or ask Him, show us the 666, and we won't go there. And the sixth car that we come upon in the parking lot is a 666.
Yeah.
You know? And it all goes back to something that's very, very simple, but very, very difficult for us as humans to understand and get. Is God wants, through Jesus, He wants a relationship with us. Okay? And He is there and is ready to listen to us no matter what the problem is. Okay? Or what the good is. It doesn't matter.
It don't matter how small and insignificant we may think that problem is, too.
That's right. No matter which way it is, He wants a relationship, just like a husband and a wife wants a relationship as well. They want to know that you care. Okay? And they want to be loved in a certain way and so forth a lot of times. But with God, He is willing to listen to anybody that is sold out for Him. Okay? And
through the good, bad, and the ugly.
And, yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
But we have an issue with the whole, we normally go to Him when something was going wrong. We don't stick with Him when it's going good.
And the other issue is we may have a sin in our life that prevents Him from even listening to what we're even talking about to Him. Okay? And if you don't believe that, you need to read John 9:31. Okay? He can't listen to sinners. That is anybody that's not saved and anybody that is saved that has a known sin in their life, such as pride. If you've got pride in your life or arrogance about you and you say that you're a Christian, something's wrong. Something's bad wrong.
Oh, yeah.
Okay? And, he can't listen. But if you don't have a known sin in your life, he's ready to listen. He will answer you immediately a lot of times. If you have and are surrendered in every part of your life, okay, and are following Jesus as best you can every single day.
Don't mistake the fact that he is going to answer you every time.
He's not.
He's not going to do that at all.
Because there's always a yes, a no,
or a wait.
Some people.
Well, I mean, just like the whole thing yesterday. We had a feeling that we were supposed to, something big was supposed to happen. We were supposed to meet something of a particular person, and it didn't. But then he waited till later to show it. I did.
Yeah.
He didn't just give you the answer. He let you sit with him and be with him and meditate on him and what he guided us through, and then he gave you the answer.
That's exactly right.
But you had to be willing to go to him and say, okay, did I do something wrong? Lord, just tell me what I did.
Where did I mess up?
Did I mess up?
And I didn't mess up.
No, we did not.
I did not mess up. I did exactly what he told us to do.
We followed the path.
And after that, he revealed to me, you didn't mess up. You did exactly what I needed you to do. And you were blessed. And you were humble about the blessing. So that's all I got that I wanted to share about this. Do you want to add anything else, sweetheart?
I think we pretty much covered everything that needed to be covered.
Yeah, I know it got a little longer than what I typically think it's going to be, but I think it kind of needed to be covered. So, friends, have a good rest of your day, and we'll see you on the next video.
Bye.
Bye.